Holiday travel is stressful enough. Travel in general, stressful as it is. But this last go around, thousands of flights, as you've heard, those cancellations, they made matters even worse. In today's Tech Check, we are diving into the fine print, ready to help you understand your rights if you run into airline delays or cancellations in the future. Deseret News columnist Amy Iverson is joining me. Happy New Year, Amy.
Happy New Year.
So there were some wild numbers being thrown out daily the last week. Is there a totality that we can just commiserate over? How bad were these flight cancellations at a glance?
I don't know if we still have the full total, but airlines were canceling all over the place. Southwest alone, as we know, was the worst.
Yeah.
Between December 23rd and December 30th, they canceled 16,000 flights. And that accounted for 70% of all cancellations. So it was big.
Your daughter ran into this snag.
Yes, she was supposed to head home on the 28th. She had work scheduled the 29th and 30th. She lives in Denver. Canceled, no flights available till Saturday. We dropped some money and booked her on a different airline. Luckily, there was one available. So I'm happy to hear that Southwest is saying they will reimburse everyone for everything. They're just saying, please forgive us. We'll pay for everything, hotels, meals, rebooked flights, anything. So I have submitted that, and we'll see if it works.
And there comes the next step of this process as we try to get smarter and maybe learn as passengers, as consumers from what happened. There are wild rumors flying around about what you're entitled, what they will cover. You say knowing your rights as a customer is really where this begins.
Yes, and it starts with federal law, because there is a federal law that says if your flight is significantly changed or delayed, you're entitled to a refund or a rebooking. Now, the problem is they don't give an exact definition for what significant means. So you do need to check the airline's contracts with each of those if you're wondering about that. But like JetBlue, for instance, says if it's more than a 3-hour delay, they'll rebook you or refund you, and they'll give you a little credit too for next time.
And you talked about, I submitted this. I hope it happens. Is history on our side? Do we know? I mean, I remember going through a damaged stroller claim years ago, and it became such a hassle and such a headache that we finally just gave it up. It wasn't worth the time. I imagine there will be a lot of situations like that.
Well, I know one of the representatives from Southwest did say this will take weeks as they go through all of these receipts. I was happy that when we rebooked her flight, we were immediately refunded the money for that flight that she could take.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for that extra $200 we spent to get her on another airline.
Right. Are there strategies that will put the odds in our favor going forward if your flight is delayed or canceled?
I think so, because when you're looking at, is my flight going to be delayed or canceled, look at the numbers. So NerdWallet did a great analysis of all of the data from the beginning of 2022, and they found which airlines are consistently on time and have the fewest cancellations. So let me give you some numbers. So number one with the best was Delta and Hawaiian. Those were tied for number one. 82% of theirs are on time. And then SkyWest, American, United, and Alaska were all kind of in that middle. The low rank are Spirit, Frontier, and the absolute worst was JetBlue with only 60% of their flights on time. And I love JetBlue, so that made me so sad to hear. And they also had the most cancellations at 7%.
Really?
So when you're looking at odds, book what carriers are going to get you there on time and have the fewest cancellations. That's number one.
Yes.
Number two is, so the number one reason for delays are things that the airline could have controlled. And that's when that federal law comes into effect, if the airline could have controlled it. The number two reason is the domino effect. So that means a flight is late in the first flight. So that means the second flight, the second leg is late, and so on and so on. That's what really killed Southwest. And so if you can book the first flight of the day, then there's never a domino effect for you.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Start as early as you can. Amy, where can we read your column?
So Deseret.com/Amy, and I have the links to all of those contracts of carriage. That's where the fine print is. That'll give you the details on what your rights are when you run into a chaotic travel holiday like this one.
Hoping we don't see one like that for a while, but definitely a good idea to get smart about it and know what the fine print says. Thank you so much.
See you later.